Hello, my name is Drew Bailey. I'm making a video on a collective has to do kind of the homeless issue. What I want to put together is something that addresses the homelessness as a whole and makes it so that people can go to a warehouse or go to some place in the city using an iTown app. iTown app is going to make it so that when you go to a city, you're homeless, you download the app, it makes it so you know where you go to get food, you know where you get rest, you know where you get transportation. And once you become part of the collective, you have a central hub that you can send your paycheck to, that you can become a part of, that you can network and grow within. Primarily, I didn't include children in this, but the children will also be included as an understanding of addressing what family issue is. So the first setup I put was 100 men and women living collectively. Let's say each person works at a minimum wage job, makes $10 an hour, 40 hours a week, 80 hours at $10 an hour by one paycheck. That's about $800. $1,600, you collectively combine all your money, 16 times 100 is $160,000. Of that $160,000, I use the principal understanding of welfare system. If you're on low-income housing, it costs about 30% of your paycheck to get low-income housing. So 30% of your paycheck, if you live in the warehouse, goes to the warehouse. 50% goes to investments. Investments would initially be high risk. I set it up on a 401k methodology where 30% penalty if you remove prior to the maturity. Maturity being if you sign into the collective and you say I'm going to stay for a year, I'm going to stay for 5 years. Each collective design has a goal where you're collectively networking and grading into a final goal. So you say 5 years, I want to have my investment mature, and once it matures, then I'll get X number of dollars back. I'll also be able to get a car, or I want to collectively be able to buy a house. 5-10 years, buying in the collective, just like they do in old houses, just like if you read the Wall Street Journal, these old houses, these old stock brokerages, they use collective methodology to network and combine their money in high risk and low risk. So your first year would probably be high risk stocks or investments, high risk things, and then as you progressively became part of the collective and grew in the span of time, your maturity would be a lot less risk until you mature out at 5 or 10 years being part of the collective. You'd have a 90-day trial living in the warehouse. In the warehouse, everything would be networked in. At least 70% of the people living in the warehouse would have to work. Minimum of 40 hours a week. The 30% have to maintain the warehouse and maintain what the warehouse is doing. Think kind of like a Fight Club scenario, but where you don't actually have to go into basements and beat up each other, where you're working together as a collective to ensure that everything is going smoothly. Once you pass the 90-day trial, you could have shared housing, where you could have low-income housing, where you're sharing rooms. And then you could go so far as to have individual housing, where you're working toward a common goal. Goals of collectives: have independence, have investments, have a vehicle, have a house, have returns. When you initially start the collective, you have no transportation. Transportation will be provided via the collective. Collective people, that's to be part of the 30% that aren't working, would bus you to and from work, ensure that everything is going. Your collective, just like with shelters, one of the issues of being homeless is not having a place to receive your mail, receive your paycheck. The collective would have a mailing address where you can have your mail sent to you. In regard to the funding, all money is funded through the LPA. When you initially join the collective, there would be a key fob given to you and a keychain and a key to the collective house. On that key fob, it would randomly be updated every month, every 2 paychecks. You would get information in regard to where your contribution is going. It would be screened through 3 different LPAs, which is a licensed practicing accountant. So the accountants could track and show exactly what you signed up for. Let's say you like the plan that's a low investment, low risk. So you only plan on staying a year. Something happens, you take out your investment, holds the same penalties as a 401k. With a 401k, when you take out investment early, there's a 30% penalty. So let's say you only stay 4 months, you invest $1,000. You just lost $300, but that's part of it. You let your money mature, you just gain something at a 5 to 10% interest rate and you just walk away with whatever it is. If you're doing high risk, let's say you have 25%, 30%, you just walked away with $1,300 as opposed to losing $300 for leaving early. You get arrested, something like that happens. Part of the benefit of being a part of a collective is anytime you get arrested, anytime you have an issue, we have people that are professionals in the field. Part of the collective, we're just outsourced from the collective, but our doctors, lawyers, and counselors that contribute to the collective, and our on-call professionals. We have a drug, no drug living, separation of living policy. If you want to study modern, not necessarily collectiveness, but how societies as a whole can come together, you can study the homeless issue in Canada. They actually started building houses for the homeless, and the homeless population there isn't so much an issue as it is in, let's say, the United States. The spreadsheet that's given every member of the collective will have a mentor educator. You get to choose what kind of groups you're going to network within. Each group has certain things that will help teach you, whether it's your new job, you've been out of work for a while. We help revise your resume. We help give you counseling. We help give you therapy. We help seek you toward a progressive effort of becoming independent. The drug, no drug, if you admittedly come in, you say I'm on drugs, I'm on X, A, Y, or Z drug, we separate you from the no drug facility, which could be, like I said, right now it's 100 men, 100 women, no children involved, which is separated from the men to women so that we can put you into groups. We can try to work with you on your habit and have a separate living policies. You sign the form, you sign the forums, and you pretty much agree to being part of a collective to get you the right counseling, get you the right effort, and get you the right level of independence. Teaching, there's going to be teaching incorporated in all levels of the collective. So you're growing as a person, you're becoming a teacher and mentor yourself. You come in strung out. We pretty much want you to teach the next level, the next group, what it is to be strung out and pretty much mentor the next performance so that it can't continue on. You're pretty much helping break the cycle. We have two dates, dates you joined, dates you left, what you left with, how you've grown. If it's one collective, it's one city, one state, we want to span out the collective. We want to have it where the iTown app is something that is uniformly known and understood across the board, where people who are part of the collective know that if they're a member of the collective, they can network and create around the collective. Collective is going to use like Facebook, use open forums and chats, so that we have a collective in New York and a collective in Los Angeles. Each collective is networking and greeting within each other and performing at the same level. Every collective has a member of a limitation of 100 people. Those 100 people, the top 3, one's a teacher, the other 2 are mentors, just like college. If you have a professor, you have 2 adjunct professors. They monitor and they pretty much dictate to the other 97. The other 97, 30% of those don't work. They work around the collective, they work around the house upkeep, modern, ensuring that everything's cooked, all your food's made, everything's put together, everything's networked, everything's moving forward. The other 70 that are contributing, ensure that everyone's on a multiple tasking forum of working together. If you come in, you're so unable to work, strung out, you can't get your back on your feet, we give you a 90-day trial. You give us a 90-day trial, we get you the job, we help get you out there, we help put you back together. We use everything modern to whatever city we're in. We use modern technology, modern advancements, modern devices. We use modern help networks. We're not trying to take away from halfway houses. We're not trying to take away from other government institutions that use the food stamp program, that use government facilities. We're actually trying to work with, around, and through those so that we can take pieces of theirs to make ours better and more whole. They'll also be guest speakers. They'll help perform the paperwork. We'll have spreadsheets and everything on that, on your key fob of what you can apply to, what companies are hiring, and we continue to update that and keep you part of a communal collective. So if you decide to go from city A to city B, we can plan out your destination, we can plan out your route of other people that have been homeless, other people that have been there, other people that know where they're going, other people that will be or meet you on the road, so that you don't have to have such a rough start in the next city. Money, jobs, efforts, all contributed, all jointly conjoined, so that you have a target, a goal, investments, or a statement sheet. Statement sheet, each person that comes in, they sign their own statement. We want you to fill out information that says, well, I'm here because X, Y, or Z, and then at the end of that, we want you to review it. We want you to analyze it. We want you to reevaluate it. We want you to grow as an individual so that you feel safe, we feel safe, and everything goes as planned. The key fob is a simple way so that if you go from city to city, you can download, upload, and network back to our collective. You can Facebook, you can real time, and you can pretty much show us firsthand what it is in one city to another and what needs to be done. Housing in campus or campus of housing pretty much has a security detail. Individual people of the collective are either security or we outsource and ensure that everything is safe and secure. Any outbreaks of fights, we pretty much follow the laws of the land. We report any issues of drug incorporation, any violence, any rapes, anything that makes us outside the collective. We don't do an in-house vote. We don't do shunning. We don't do anything to that effect. We ensure that everything is done by the rule of the law so we can ensure that we have a secure network. Sponsorship, we do barbecues. We're going to do things to the effect of multitasking, to making it known that these collectives are coming about being so that they can grow as a whole. The benefit of this is that people will gain an understanding of what it is to be part of the collective, but also what I-Town really is on the bigger whole. In regard to I-Town, it's going to give a direction as to where the shelters are, safe location, food, transportation, work, paychecks, deposits, and collective. So I put collectives, one silver spoon. Silver spoon is pretty much a funder, someone outside that sees this and sees this as something that can be success, someone that's actually funding it so that they can put a ding in the homeless population, so they see it firsthand in their cities. They don't want it to be some kind of system where it presently is, where people are getting arrested, wrongfully in prison, and the government is making money off the homeless just by housing them. We want to make it where you're an individual, a citizen, you regain your right to vote, you regain your power in the community, you regain yourself, you regain your self-respect, your self-dignity. You're not just being looped in and looped out, and you're not feeling abandoned. You're part of a family. So we have 100 people, we have 3 mentors, we have a 33, which is the king, that's the teacher, we have an adjunct professor, which is 32, and we have a 16 by 16 by 16. And then under the 16, which is the castle, you look at the chessboard, it goes 32, 30, 33, 32, 16, 8, 4, and 2. So we have our king, our queen, we have our castle, we have our bishop, and we have our pawns. Pawns aren't the workers. Pawns are somewhere between the 8, the 4, and 2. So the bishop, the knight, and the pawns are the people working within the collective, working and networking in around the castles. Let's say we have 4 different cities, we have 4 different castles. We're networking in, we're ensuring that we're communicating via Facebook, we're doing a trial and error. We're ensuring that everybody on the 90-day span, everybody within the housing, outside the housing, is safe and secure. 76% in order for the collective to work, have to be making at least $10 an hour. Let's say you come to the collective, you're strung out, you just lost your wife or kids, you're divorced, something else, like just got out of jail, but you have a bachelor's or a master's degree. You're a doctor, you're a lawyer, or something like that. By some miracle or just by sheer persistence, you're able to get a job in that community, and you're making, instead of $10 an hour, you make $50, $100, $150 an hour. Well, there's no special treatment. Collectively speaking, we take 30% for housing, and we take 50% for investing, and the other 50% is yours. That adds up to be 130%. Doesn't sound about right, right? Well, the reason the 30% for housing is because if you don't decide to live with us, you warehouse in with us for 90 days, and then you get out and you say, well, I'm not going to live with you, but I'm still part of the collective, that 30% is knocked off. That 30% goes back to you. So instead of it being 30% housing, taken and given to us, that's actually 30% you're using to provide for your rent. You're still part of our collective, which means you're still part of the investment, and you're still part of the opinion, and you're still part of the goals, the independence, the investing, the vehicle, the housing, the return. We help you out, you help us out. We network as a grid. It's not just a 90-day trial. It's something for your life. It's something that's bigger than just a platform. It's something that's going to make it so that people in your same scenario, whether you're a doctor, a lawyer, or just somebody that's never even worked. Let's say you're 18, let's say you're 40, you never really had a full-time job. You become part of the collective, 90 days in, you decide to get a job. You're only able to get a $10, $15, $20 an hour job, which are all amazing jobs to begin with, especially when you're homeless. We provide you a place to sleep, a place to eat, and a shelter. We give you food in the morning, food at night, and some place to go lay your head in the evening. The collective right now is pretty much in the constructive phase. I'm putting this out there so the people on ground zero that I'm not taking away from can put this together and make it a bigger idea, a bigger deal. My email, if you like this idea and if you want to contribute with me, I'd like to chat with you on Facebook. Facebook just recently changed where you can chat up to 32 people. 32 people you can network with on a live chat. So that's part of one of the benefits I see with the collective is you could get 32 kings, 32 33s, or 32 queens, 32 33 32s, or 32 16s, which is a castle, which is your foundation. We can do this globally. And we can network collectively globally, and we can say homeless isn't just an issue in the United States, homeless is an issue in India, homeless is an issue in China. Collectively speaking, China does it just a little bit different. They have people that go in and they'll work at jobs, menial jobs, $10 an hour for 5, 6, 7, 10 years. And they won't see their families for that long. That's not only dedication, that's kind of indentured slavery. I want to see the fact that people get a collective mass going where they're collectively saving up their money, making investments, making resound issues so that they don't have to do that. The collective investments are pretty much, like I said, an old house, a brokerage, something like that. That's how people in modern day make their millions. They form up these collectives. They have 100 people. 3 of them aren't necessarily the top. 3 of them are the performers. 3 of them are the investors, the brokers, and the designers. They design it, they platform it, and they put it out to the 97. The 97, everyone invests $5. That $5 builds in 25 to 5,000, and they have a comfort cushy something or other waiting 10, 15, 20 years. I want to make it where the lower class, the impoverished, are doing the exact same thing, except they're doing it, and they're doing it with LPN securing it, they're doing it with key fobs, they're doing it with things that where they bounce from one city to another. There's not necessarily a penalty if you're still part of the collective. If you're going from one city to another, but you're still working, let's say you're a contractor, let's say you do construction, you don't like the city, it's not vibing with you, you have to leave. The next city has, or is starting, or is going to be, or has done, or sees this and performs and platforms it out, builds a collective, well, you're still part of that collective. You go from that one city to another city, and you're still joined in to your market merging and your investment, and you're still moving forward, and you're still going out, and you're still spending out, and you're still contributing. Let's say you join it, you get 5 years in, you have no use for it. You have no hindsight, you're not looking back, you're not looking forward. You have money in, you decide you want to take it out, you had a 5-year goal to invest in, you take your 5-year goal, you don't see any penalty, and we part ways, and there's no worry or concern about it because that's what you initially signed up for. That's the way it follows. If you want to do a traditional 401k, those don't mature for 20 years. We want to set it up so there's multiple levels, multiple programs, so that there's a 1-year plan, there's a 6-month plan, there's a 5-year plan, there's a 10-year plan, there's a 20-year plan, so that it plans to your platform. If you sign up and you get a couple months in, and you're like, well, I want to change what I platform to, well, then you can do that as well. I want to make it so it's carefree, so that people that don't understand necessarily investments, how the world works, how the world runs, not just nationally, not just locally, but globally, how the networks work. We have it set up so there's mentors, there's teachers, there's real-time people that are not only helping me grow up, not only helping me mature, but helping other people mature so that the collective can teach, so it's a teaching platform. So the people that come in at one level end up being the teachers. So it's a constant mentoring, building one upon the other, so that everyone is networked and gridded in as a whole. In regard to this, I've had a brief stint of homelessness. I've had a brief stint of up and downs. I'm not trying to preach. I'm not trying to put together something that's entrapping. I'm trying to put together something that could be an iPhone application, something that if I end up being homeless again, which might just be an option, I can click on an application, go in another city, know there's a safe parking lot I can park my car, know there's a safe parking lot I can walk to or someplace safe I can go, where it's not only a safe house, whereas if people have families, let's say there's a wife, she has 2 kids and her husband. Husband ends up in the town, he clicks on the iPhone app, he needs a job, well, there's a place that they can go for a house. Third party, let's say we have collective houses where people will take in and shelter people. There's an adjacent website that says if you need shelter, they'll shelter you, Well, they decide to shelter these people. The wife goes, stays the night, takes care of the 2 kids, someone provides them a warm meal, husband goes to work. Husband goes to work at a night shift, works the nights, meets the kids, or goes to sleep, gets one good night, good rest, and goes to work the following morning. We have it linked up, so it's real-time feeds with all the Indeeds, all the monsters, all the up-and-coming job sites. So that person can get in with a temp agency. That person has the comfort of going to a new city, a different place, and pretty much automatically be networked into the collective so that he can live, they can thrive, and they can move on. And maybe even there could be funding where the collective and some of their investments, they invest a little bit off so that people that need help with money, need help with gas, need help with finances, we reach out, we meet you halfway on the road, we pick you up, or we put gas in your car, we get you to where you need to go. Even if it's not the collective city that we're talking about, we'll meet you halfway and get you on your way. That's pretty much my idea. Like I said, it's going to be about a 70% to 100% collective working. Anything job-wise, security details, fundraising, everything like that. I want to work with people in the field. People presently homeless, people in these institutions, people in these facilities, people in, out, all around. I want to work with you to make it so it's a reality. I've had family members that have done this, family members that have been on both sides, family members that have been in and out. I myself have been in and out. I want to make it so it's a better system. I know there's a lot of holes in the system. I want to make it so we can fill in some of those voids and transparently make it so that it is transparent. So you can correctly say, hey, it's a good idea, but this city, that city, or whatever. So that we can network across Facebook. My Facebook name is Drew Bailey, D-R-E-W-B-A-I-L-A-Y. My email is drew9996@gmail.com. I look forward to working with you. I'm not trying to do this for money. I actually want to work with the non-for-profits. I want to work with the religions. I want to work with the people that have been doing this for a long time, not only in the United States, but nationally. I want to make it known and have it be known that the missionaries that are working out there, whether they're working with the homeless in Istanbul or Pakistan or Iran or wherever they may be, all the people fleeing from the Middle East, going down to Germany, going through Europe, I want to make it known to those people that there's something that we can work together as a whole. These missionaries that are doing it as a grid, doing it as a whole, putting their life on hold and going out there and serving to help these people and know firsthand exactly what it is to sacrifice, to work in these soup kitchens, these food lines. I want to know how they function. I want to know how we can incorporate the iTown application so that people who are cold, needy, wanting something, needing something, even in basic Maslow's hierarchy, they can't even find a place to sleep. They can't find a meal. No one on this planet should have a day of starvation. Yeah, that's what we're presently faced with. So I want to work with you, the missionaries. I want to work with you. We're all missionaries. We all serve. There's nothing about this planet, nothing about this world that does not say we don't serve. I'm not looking for contributions. I'm looking for intelligence. I'm looking for an effort. I'm looking for an outlet. I'm looking for people that want to join the fight, join the battle. Not look and see, say, some commercial that says your dog's hurt, there's people starving, and then they take 90% of your revenue and every $1.10 goes to the actual cause. I want to make it so that it's 100% transparent, that any website set up off this, the collective, is 100% transparent. That there's a market form, there's multiple LPNs, one LPN cross-registers another LPA, licensed practice and accountant, and ensures that everything is 100% transparent. So all the money is known, everything is known, and everything going in, everything coming out is known. Kind of ran through that a little bit quick, had a little bit of issues with my video recorder, but I want to ensure that I got the message out. So like I said, my name is Drew Bailey. My email is drewbailey9996@gmail.com. I'll be networking and grading on Facebook. Everything will be open to the public. I hope to work with you. I look forward to working with you. I know we can resolve this issue. I know it's not going to be a day, a week, or a month. It will probably be years. But as long as we can network and can join and make a platform that makes it so that people are more comforted, more stable, whether it be in the United States, whether it be in Russia, whether it be in Germany, whether it be in China, let's make the global issue known. Let's make the countries that need to have focus and people put in there, people with these issues, understood so that we can network and grid together, so we can build a uniform collective, not just religiously, something that spans all religions, so there are no hungry, there are no starving, so that people can click on something and have the comfort and peace of mind to know they have some place to go. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your effort. For those of you in the trenches, those of you in the war, whether you're homeless or whether you're a missionary or whether you're someone that's willing to just pull over, give somebody $5 that you don't even know, give them a burger from McDonald's, or give them something to just be and feel at peace at home and alive again. I love you. I'm grateful for you. I've been there. I've had people hand me something that I never expected. And that's true Christianity. That's the true spirit of Christ. Even beyond Christianity, if you want to say Muslim, you want to say any other religion, that's the true gift of God. I appreciate your help. I condone you in your efforts, and I thank you for your time. Goodbye.